if you are to choose one goalkeeper to represent your team in this Champions League final,
yes,
who are you picking? Raya or Courtois?
Courtois. It's a no-brainer, bro.
You have to look at their stats.
Bro, it's a no-brainer.
You also have to look at their stats.
No, I don't look at stats. For me, goalkeepers, I never look at clean sheets.
Raya.
Look at it this way.
Courtois.
Yes, I never look at clean sheets because clean sheets is also a defensive effort, whether it's a back four or a back three helping him. I look at saves. Because that's his primary job.
Yeah.
Courtois always has the saves.
3 saves.
Courtois always has the saves.
And Raya.
Courtois always has the saves.
Yeah, he made those saves, but
Courtois always has the
there were
saves.
3 that he could not.
Has Raya been to a Champions League final where he kept Salah and Mane quiet? Has he done that?
No.
Raya can't even start for Spain, my guy. No. Courtois always does that. Courtois did his job.
Thibaut Courtois is in Belgium, right?
Courtois did his job.
Is he cooking there?
No.
David Raya starts in Belgium.
No, when you look at performances, when you look at performances, the only Madrid player who did his job on the day was Courtois.
Yeah,
Qatar.
Yeah.
So he did his job. He did his primary job.
It's like a keeper who makes a lot of saves.
My
He's
God.
busy. He's getting exposed.
That's what makes him a good keeper.
Get that Thibaut Courtois. I'm not getting Thibaut Courtois. There's no way you concede 3 goals in a match and I keep you against a goalkeeper who conceded none.
What are you saying?
Never gonna happen.
So there's no way I'm keeping a keeper who concedes penalties to Zaxi. There's no way. But Raya also considered a free kick to Bruno. Raya considered a free kick to Bruno. What are you saying? You're chatting shit. Raya considered a free kick to Bruno. He sucks. He's not even tall enough to be a goalkeeper. What are you saying? Hell no.
Okay.
No way. No. Courtois' name will not be slandered on this podcast. No way. No. Raya is not even top 3 in the world right now. He's not top 3 in the world right now. What are you saying?
Are you behaving like a Neanderthal?
No, he's not.
I'm behaving like a man from a cave.
Yes, I am the Neanderthal of the podcast. And Raya is not top 3.
You need to behave like a civilized man.
What are you saying?
Behave like a caveman.
Fuck civilization. Raya is not top 3 in the world.
Come from a garden.
Raya is not top 3 in the world as a
You just come from a garden.
He's not.
I'm not saying he's top 3 in the world.
He's not.
Venant asked a very simple question.
Yeah.
And I say, Courtois, end of story.
Behave.
End of story.
Behave, goddamn.
Calm down. It's Courtois.
Is this Arsenal that is getting you rattled?
It's Courtois.
This is David Raya who's getting you rattled like this.
It is Courtois.
David Raya.
It is Courtois. Producers, it's Courtois. Trivia man, it's Courtois. Welcome back to another episode of the Wildcard, and there's only one place to start, guys. Believe that comebacks are inevitable. Anyway, I'm your host, Brian Waudo, joined by
Venant, the best FPL manager in town.
Man, I hate to say I told you so, but I goddamn told you so. Well, come in Nyaash, the Jabroni Slayer.
How you get
millions and millions of elite Arsenal fans.
When it comes to believe, when he says it, we have to believe it. But when we talk about Arsenal and believing in qualifying for Champions League group stages and it's post-sparring, it's a joke.
When London clubs are involved, it's always a joke. This is Madrid. This is heritage you're talking about. But anyway, of course, kama kawaida, this show is brought to you courtesy of Sport Pesa. And before we get to the gist of a heavy football-laden show we have for you, kama kawaida, question of the week. Type it up in the YouTube comments, of course, to get a chance to get a shout-out in next week's episode. Question of the week is, what was the scoreline the last time Madrid were 3 goals down after a first leg of the Champions League knockout stages? I believe it was 2013. A certain yellow wall was in that Champions League final. I remember. I think Lewandowski scored so many goals in that. Anyway, type up the answer in the YouTube comments, of course, to get a chance for a shout out in next week's episode. Of course, kama kawaida, where do we start? Premier League teams, of course. I represent Man United.
Yes.
You represent the bottlers of the league, the best number 2 in the world, currently qualified for the Champions League alongside Liverpool. But that top 5 race is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
We have Forest there. We have Man City there. We have Villa there. Newcastle there. I think that blue London team is already out.
I don't know, conference. That's the night football is their thing.
Yes.
That's where they thrive. Newcastle, man, they have been crawling up or going up slowly but surely. Now, if they beat Crystal Palace, the game in hand, they're third. And I was like, before of course, they beat Manchester United, or before they even get there. I was like, you know, Arsenal made it possible that 5 teams go to the Champions League next season.
By doing what?
By absolutely annihilating Real Madrid, right? Yes. So Newcastle should be thanking us for being there out of that top 5 slot. The best way for them to show gratitude is to give us a discount for man like Isak.
Why?
But now, why? Because it's sad that they are playing the Champions League season. Yeah. There's no better way of showing gratitude to the Arsenal that made it so than giving us a discount for Isaac. But that is now changing. I feel like they might even finish third, bro. I know their fixture, I don't know which was tougher between them and Forest, but the only tough ones I see there is Arsenal only. And they have clobbered us twice.
I can go through their fixtures
They
right now.
routinely whip you, yes.
This weekend, they have Aston Villa away.
Newcastle.
Yes.
That's a tough game.
Yeah, good
Villa
game.
have been good at home this season, man.
They've won 4 in a row, I think, in the league. Yeah.
And then in their last 3, it's Chelsea at home. That's a win.
Yep.
Arsenal away.
Win,
Can nick a draw there.
win,
They're not
And
really
then
there.
Everton at home.
win. Last game of the season,
Yeah.
they'll win at St. James' Park, of course.
So
What about Forest?
what about Nottingham Forest?
Yes.
Nottingham Forest, they have Spurs away.
This coming weekend, that's a win. That's a win.
Jabronis, though.
Yeah.
But the only tough fixture they have is Chelsea at home, and that's the last fixture.
That's not a tough fixture.
So we can comfortably say Nottingham Forest are in the Champions League
Yes.
next season.
Well, they'll get there. I don't know if they'll get there as the third team in the stand.
Which other
Because
team?
right now, 2 slots are gone. Liverpool, Arsenal. When you look at Newcastle, Villa, City, Chelsea, Nottingham, out of these 5, they can only get 2 slots.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 slots
3.
left. And I think it's Forest, Newcastle, and City.
I think so as well.
I think
Aston Villa are way down. I think there's a place where they fucked up.
Yes.
Aston Villa.
Their away form this season has been detrimental. To
Yes.
them,
Yeah. I think it's Newcastle Forest. Then maybe City.
City.
Because if they continue doing what they did against Crystal Palace, maybe they might just turn it around. But I don't fancy Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa will.
Let me go through their fixtures. Forget about the stats. Let's just look at the fixtures. I'm looking Aston Villa's fixtures.
Yes.
They have Newcastle this week, or they have a double game week. FPL managers keep Aston Villa assets. So they have Newcastle and then Man City. This is back to back.
There's no
And
way they're winning
then,
both.
and then they blank. But now they have Spurs, Man United, Bournemouth, Fulham.
Aston Villa, there's no way they're making it top 5.
Yeah.
They have the toughest fixtures.
I think out of those 6, they'll probably win 3. Out of those 6 fixtures you've mentioned, they'll probably win 3.
Oh, because Bournemouth as well, they are fighting for that. Of course, Bournemouth were Lilegea.
But Bournemouth could benefit with the Europa spot, so you can't just write them off like that.
Bournemouth, good luck to them getting that. Maybe they should
I
play
think
with the FA.
they can get a win against City, they can get a win against Spurs, and I think they can get a win against us as well.
What about Fulham at home?
That's a tough game. That's a tough game.
It's a tough. And even Man City, bro.
Nah.
Anyone
can beat City
you see,
right
like
now.
For Villa, the objective will most probably want to be back in the Champions League next season.
100%.
Of which
Considering
they
how they've invested in January as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of which they will not get by winning the Champions League, first of all. So if you look at now them going up, I know that the gap between these teams is crazy. Like the gap between number 3 and number 7 is 3 points.
That's one game.
That's a game.
Yeah.
Oh, so anything could happen here, to be honest. I don't think Chelsea are getting there. Chelsea just get content with Guardian Conference League. Or maybe Europa League if they win the Conference League. Then it's Man City, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa.
And this is why I think Man City will definitely get it. They have Everton away this weekend.
That's a tough one.
Bro, hiyo ni ngumu.
That's a
That's
tough
a Goodison Park.
They have
Goodison
Everton.
Park.
They came back from... Okay, technically, Crystal Palace scored 3 goals.
Yes.
They came back from 3-0 and scored 5
But
in 45
That's
minutes.
at Etihad.
They were at home. This
Yes.
is Goodison Park.
Bro.
Okay, Everton have form. Everton have form.
Yeah.
And then, midweek next week, Aston Villa home. So to me, they win this game, they're in that conversation. They've secured that spot because the next fixtures are Wolves at home, relegated Southampton, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away. So for me, it's like when they beat Aston Villa, they've secured the spot.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah.
I just like that Chelsea are now out of
No,
that
Chelsea are out.
conversation.
Chelsea are out. Chelsea are out. I don't even think they're favorites for the Conference League as well.
Come on. Now you're overreaching.
You're
overreaching.
No. It's not even hate. I think De Gea's performances for Fiorentina have been good.
Yeah.
But for me, my favorites in the Conference League are Real Betis. Yeah.
Because of how they're disappointing teams in the top 3 in La Liga.
I think it's down to once Isco is back fully fit. I think he's back towards the end of the month.
Yeah.
Isco is fully fit, and then you have the El Tigre colors, Anthony Dos Santos colors. Yeah, I think Real Betis are the favorites for the Conference League. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
Anthony's got El Tigre.
I call him because of the celebration against Arsenal.
Hey, it has been. You're the last person to know.
My car is called El Tigre. That's the nickname of my car. I cannot have my car being named after Anthony, bro.
Out here driving Anthony.
No, bro. That has to change. It has to change. It can't be like that, bro.
As we have proper nicknames, we don't call
Anthony.
people Sijui Petit Vimon, Sijui Little Chili. No, proper nickname.
There are nicknames as well, bro. I was actually checking out Real Betis. I don't know if they won. Did they
Real
win?
Betis are on a good run of
No, in
form.
the Conference League. Did they win?
Yeah, they won their first leg 2-0.
Oh, they won?
Yeah, they're waiting for the second leg to travel away. So
okay.
they're practically in the semi-final. Yeah.
So what
And
I tell you-
I think they'll meet Chelsea in the final.
Okay,
Okay,
this
so they
is
might beat
interesting.
Fiorentina in the semis. Sio bracket yao inakaa.
Yeah, but this is interesting because all this time I've been thinking Conference League, it's a guaranteed
Nah.
Chelsea.
No
Yeah,
way.
the
No way.
way those
You
jabronis
have,
are moving,
what
bro.
team do you? What team are you having in the conference? Because me, I've been Chelsea since day one.
I mean, fuck Chelsea, man.
Londoners.
fuck
Londoners hamwezi kuwa tu United siku
Siko
moja.
United for
bana. You know, even when Manchester City is playing in the Champions League semi-final,
No, we don't do that, man.
United fans have to come in and show them, hey,
No.
you know where you came from. You have the spirit of the Manchester
Yeah, only small
you.
bros wetu.
Yeah, but what do you? Okay.
Chelsea are still a small bros because I mean it's still a small club. But fuck him, man. Kila mtu abebe msalaba yake.
Yeah.
I don't think they win the cup. I have my money, like you said, either Real Betis or Fiorentina. I don't know if they're meeting the semis like that.
enough.
But I
So for
fancy
you,
those.
anything but not Chelsea.
It's not like I have anything against Chelsea, honestly.
It
I
sounds
don't.
like
Fair enough.
that.
But I don't.
Right now that we're on this Chelsea kind of conversation, when I'm looking at the big six, only Liverpool and Arsenal have lived their hype this
Yeah,
season.
maybe you should go back to
You
a big
look,
two
you look
now.
at City are a bit tippy-tappy. They do have the squad, but they haven't been on form.
Yeah.
As everyone expected them to be this season. You look at, and forget even Spurs. I don't even want to talk about Spurs.
Yeah.
Joke.
But the two clubs that I think we should get some 2 cents on before we move on to the Champions League.
Yeah.
Chelsea and United.
Yeah.
Respectively, these two clubs have spent 1 billion and 600 million in the past 2 years, and they have nothing to show for it.
Wow.
These are traditional big six. These
Yeah.
Combined, they have 5 Champions League titles between
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Combined, they have 18 Premier League titles between them.
Yeah.
And these are clubs that are no longer, nobody considered them as Europe's elite.
You know? Look, as a bona fide Big Six member, I was still there, by
As
the
the
way.
historically originator of the big.
I am putting forward a motion that we need to eject 2 teams from the Big Six.
Yes.
Maybe we need to welcome Nottingham Forest and Newcastle to the Big Six now. But there's no you can be the Big Six and you're the bottom half right now with 6 games to go. Tottenham
Six
Hotspur,
games to go.
they need to be rejected. They need to be ejected out of the Big Six. Manchester United as well. They need to be ejected unless you win the Europa League and get back to the Champions League. You should be ejected out of the top 6 or Big Six teams now. Because, I mean, 6 games to go and you're 14th.
Yeah. Sit on that, United fans.
Have
by
you
the way.
ever
Sit
been
on
that low ever?
I told guys last week in my predictions I expected Newcastle to beat us 2-0.
Yes.
Everyone expected us to lose, but it was in the manner of the defeat.
Yeah.
To concede 4 goals to Newcastle, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Crazy.
it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Especially in a
Hear me out, United fans. Don't get me wrong. I love trophies. I'm addicted to it. I support a club that wins trophies regularly. But at the end of the day, would United fans take getting knocked out of the Europa League? That way, next season we only have 1 game a week to restructure. Think about it.
I think that's a very good question.
Think about it.
Because, I mean, I think the issue for you now moving forward,
Because Champions League tunaenda kufanya nini sai? Tukiingia Champions League?
mnaenda kucheza tu league phase alafu muondoke.
But
Just be there for vibes.
we have people saying Eri Ten Hag.
Achana now.
really?
Yeah,
Achana
the
now.
people saying Eri Ten Hag
The guy who gave us Onana and Højlund.
because the numbers, at least with him, we weren't getting this Onana
Yeah, they were
blunders
never
as
this-
much as
they were never this low.
Yeah, they were, yeah. So the
We
people
finished
who are
fourth in the
saying
Champions League.
Eri Ten Hag.
My God.
Because with Ten Hag, at least you guys were winning
Okay.
something,
So?
And even in terms of the process, this is way bad, And guys also saying it's time for Bruno Fernandes to move on.
Yeah, he should
from
believe.
Manchester
He should believe.
United.
Shall we talk about Manchester United?
Next week.
We are here.
Do you have it in this conversation?
Next
Or is
week.
it, is it a special conversation for it?
Give yourself some 2 cents. Take over right now. Because
Alright,
practically the Champions League will just be passing by the second leg.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
He was cooking.
Yeah, it was time for Bruno Fernandes to move on. To Man City, that sounds like a good move.
Yes, sir.
To Real Madrid also.
Real Madrid especially, yeah.
That sounds like a good move. So there is that. Because if you remove Bruno Fernandes from that team right now, who's
Dead.
performing as good as him?
No
It's a
one.
dead club.
No one.
Yeah, and when you factor in his age and stuff, you'd rather him play like that in a winning team. That's where now the likes of Real Madrid come in.
Yeah.
And also, you guys are giving Lyon confidence going to the second leg in this Europa fixture. Wait,
2
because
seconds. Let me stop you there. It's not us, guys. It's Onana who gave them confidence. Keep more.
Onana is Manchester United.
He's Manchester United.
Putting him like I said, like he's him and then there's Manchester United. Come on.
Because even if you remove the Onana blunders, what did you see in that game that made you believe like
By
United?
Indeed. Now, I'll tell you by Indeed. First of all, I saw Manchester United posting happy birthday to him today.
Yeah,
it felt like a draw.
Imagine, bro.
No,
Like seriously, clap at me. Read the fucking room.
Read the goddamn room.
Iko kwa contract.
It's his birthday, but happy. Nah.
Contract.
I didn't see anything from Altai by Indeed that got me thinking like, yeah, but they Onana amekuwa akiwauza. I mean, he was liable for is it the 4th goal? I mean, there are 3 goals there that was like, okay, either way he stop. I cannot like say by Indeed. But he never showed anything that got me thinking like, yeah, this guy can come clutch for Manchester United. It's basically like they removed trash from Onana and they brought in garbage for Altai by Indeed. No change. In fact, the last time he conceded 4 goals in the league was last year. No, was last season against Crystal Palace, right?
Yes.
I think towards the end of the season. Onana may be trash, but you have never conceded 4 all season until you put him out. The only time we conceded 4 was in the quarter-finals, I think Carabao Cup, 4-3 against Spurs.
Fair point.
Well, Kaja ningekuwa 4-3, then, well...
Fair, we tried. But
this is 4-0. Oh, 4-1.
4-1.
Hata wewe unaona huko unadhani tunafunga bao. Even you don't think we score.
Yeah. So I mean, Altai by Indeed, I didn't see anything yesterday that gave me confidence for Manchester United or like some hope for them.
Commiserations all over. Zaxi got injured, now I have to watch Hoyland till the end of the season.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What about Chelsea?
Yeah.
What about Chelsea?
What about them?
You've said enough about Chelsea. I mean, they've already dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah.
I don't think they're winning the Conference League.
Nah.
And their fixtures are tough, competing with Aston Villa for the toughest among the top 4 conversations.
Chelsea are in the conversation of Conference League, Europa League there.
Probably the second page.
Yeah, okay.
Of the league.
Fair enough.
But also, by the way, Manchester United, before I get done, like you said, Bruno should leave. You're wasting him. He's in a dead club.
Just like Aubameyang left. Yeah, I get what
we kicked him out.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to think like Amorim maybe also be a jabroni.
Amorim and Postecoglou, man. Fraud watch on managerial fraud watch.
When he left Sporting Lisbon, he was on 11 straight wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing very well in the league. Doing also quite well in the Champions League after smacking Manchester City.
Yeah. 5-1 was it? Yeah.
He left half the season through, quarter, to come to Manchester United. And now he's looking like a goddamn clown. Everybody's calling for his head for him to be fired. Why would you make that move, bro?
I don't know. Ask the Portuguese.
Why would Ruben Amorim? Why? Because what one I'm doubt sana nowadays. And it's not like I don't know if he's bad or he's just been unable to execute his own philosophy.
The players.
But the more you watch how his team performs, and you watch likes of Moyes how they are doing, Buddha, why would you not start doubting Amorim, bro?
The players.
I think for me it's a case of if you're coming to this league and you're playing the back 3, I think there's only one. Okay, Mourinho never even used the back 3 at times. He was 4-4-2.
Yeah.
No, Conte was that one season because his second season he really suffered.
Yeah.
But the one manager I'd look at who for me is sort of a Mourinho region is Nuno Espirito Santo. When he was at Wolves, his back 3 worked to a T.
Yes.
To a T.
Yeah.
Then he of course killed his career by going to Spurs, poisoned Charles and them thing there over there. But at the end of the day, he's rejuvenated himself with Forest.
Yeah.
And even Forest, they switch to a 4-4-2-5-1 or back 3 at times.
Back 3 as well
and
sometimes.
they do back 3 and they do it to that perfection. They perfect it, kabisa.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, Amorim has to perfect it. When I look at our team, the issue is not even the individual defenders. That back 3 has to have wing backs who can flank kabisa. Like Dalot has to be flying.
Yeah.
Same case with Patrick Dogu. They have to be flying. They have to practically act as a what can I say, wide wingers who go to the touchline.
Yeah.
Because the 210s are the ones who will be inviting. But at the end of the day, they don't do that regularly enough.
Yeah.
And then goals in the team are also dead.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
if you do that, because even if I think you should have done some background check. First of all, ajue kuna haina imezikwa pale kwa ile kiwanja. Right? And if you want some evidence, you can look at David Moyes when you first hired him. He was fantastic at Everton. You killed him. Made him look like a jabroni.
Yes.
You brought in Louis van Gaal, a stored manager.
I kid you not, Van Gaal was past it by the time we brought him. I don't understand why.
Or could be that.
Yes.
You kicked him out like a goddamn dog.
Yeah.
You brought on Jose Mourinho.
Europa League.
Won Europa League.
Chujwa.
Toka nje anaanza hadi kuambia mfanye respect. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, one of your own who was your man, who was your player, killing it as a player.
Babyface assassin.
Who looks like Smigol. And you brought him on, he got you second in the league, and then the downfall just happened and you kicked him out again like a goddamn dog. Amorim anafika India nani ati atatolewa. Ten Hag was killing it at Ajax. Went to Manchester United, killed him. This is a
Amorim killing it at Sporting.
Yes.
Oh my
Getting
days.
killed at Manchester
The
United.
script has been written.
Bro, it's a graveyard of careers, not only for footballers, but managers as well. I don't know why he decided to make that move, but it's his bed. He should lie in it.
But now that he's here, the way forward is decluttering all those unnecessary United players.
Yes.
Like, you look at Zagzi after the Europa game, and he's asked about what do you think about the performance and how you slipped up, you let Lyon come back up. And he's like, the game is okay, but you have to focus on the next game. And I'm like, where's your accountability? So these players need to be accountable. Yes, you guys are being paid to play professionally. Why don't you guys just do that? Because you're not...
They're trying their best.
Isika
They're trying.
KPL. It's
How much
not
am I
like
training
KPL.
Pamoja,
Trying.
guys?
But have you
It's
not seen
There's no
Garnacho?
synergy in that team.
Garnacho tried,
There's no
but they can't say
synergy
he
in that
doesn't
team.
try. Come
Fuck Garnacho, man. Fuck.
Amorim now is looking
Are we done? Are we done with United?
I think you're
Are we
done,
done?
man. I think you're done.
Okay, fine. The one thing we'll never be done with is, of course, responsible betting. Na nawakumbusha, please, msieke rent, msieke pesa ya fees, msieke hizo vitu. Sahi jackpot iko very tasty. It is at over 411 million Kenyan shillings to be won. Pay bill number kama kawaida 955-100. Of course, account number is your own personal phone number, and all you need is 99 bob to the latest millionaire. You don't even have to go for the mega jackpot, by the way. In the Champions League, they also have midweek jackpots. And I know for a sure fact. Listen to me out there, responsible bettors. Tonight, Wednesday night, Real Madrid kichwa pale midweek jackpot. Msijaribu kuweka choice ingine.
It doesn't even sound believable.
Msijaribu kuweka choice ingine.
Chenye amesema do the opposite.
But it doesn't even sound believable, man.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Should I start with your second leg or should we finish with your second leg? Let's finish with yours.
No, let's do the
No,
first
let's
leg.
finish with yours. Let's look at Tuesday. Tuesday night, of course,
Yes.
there is
Wednesday.
PSG versus Villa. PSG versus Villa, I think that's done for. Villa Park, I think it's going to be a draw there. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Maybe.
Second
Or even
leg.
Villa can beat.
Yeah.
Aston Villa can pull this through. I don't know why you
Hakuna-
guys...
No.
I don't know why you guys...
Did you watch the first leg?
Yes, I watched the first leg,
What did you
and,
see there that
and
made you
the
think,
third goal
"Bah."
is the one that killed the game.
But
But
you see-
minus that third goal,
Yes.
we could see some elements of Aston Villa looking for that second goal.
Venant, ifs and buts. Bro, it happened. The third goal
Yes.
happened.
Sawa.
I looked at that team in the first leg. Unai Emery lost it in the first leg. First of all, forget about the shithousery that Emi Martinez was trying to pull because he was going back to France. Forget about it.
Yeah.
It failed. It failed on his face.
Yes.
Flat on his face. But the lineup, when I saw John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Jacob Ramsey, and Rashford as the solo up front number 9, I knew they were going to lose. PSG are there for the taking in terms of counter-attacking. Villa have shown this season that they have perfect counter-attacking assets. Why don't you start Asensio, Rashford, and Malen? They have pace all over the PSG backline. Yeah. And you see, the issue now with this second leg, experience is coming back because Marquinhos will not be suspended for the second leg.
Oh, he
He's
would?
coming back to lead that backline.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
it's
also
done
Aston
for.
Villa do have experienced players.
Tyrone Mings. Who?
Not Tyrone Mings, Kila Madsen, Kila Malen.
Madsen is experienced, bro.
Where?
Martin played in the Champions League final.
He
Do not
lost.
underestimate
That's experience.
him. That's experience. He was among the best players at BVB in that campaign. Bro,
Then why did they kick him out?
That's why he's there. No, he was
Yes.
there. He was, first and foremost, it was on loan.
So
from
they should have
Chelsea.
made it permanent.
On loan from Chelsea.
They should have made it.
Yeah, I
permanent.
don't
They said
know.
he was
I
alright.
don't. You know, Chelsea have like 5 players for every position.
Yes.
Anyway, the point is, Aston Villa, do not underestimate them. It's not like United where they're gonna just give an easy walk over to PSG. Expect a battle, and that's
Yes.
what I'm telling
That's
you.
why I said 1-1
and that's
draw.
what I'm telling you. And a good example of what I'm saying is the last weekend game where they whooped those guys 3-0.
It's Southampton, bro.
Southampton.
Everyone
Yeah,
beats
but it
Southampton.
shows you
Everyone
that-
beats.
Everybody.
Even us. We've beaten Southampton.
Sawa, but
home and
it
away.
shows you that Nyaash bado tuko on.
Now, we are not saying Aston Villa will not fight. They will fight.
But they are not making
But
it
they
to the
will
semis.
lose.
Yeah.
Nah.
You guys
Nonetheless,
are making it look as if this game will end 0-5.
No,
It's 1-1. I've said 1-1.
You said 1-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second leg in Asia 1-1.
How many goals do Aston Villa need to qualify?
They need to score 3. Because
Yeah.
if they score 2, then it's level on aggregate.
Yeah.
So they need to score 3.
4-1 Aston Villa.
No, it's not.
4-1 Aston Villa, that means they go to extra time. 4-1 Aston Villa means they go.
Yeah, they actually.
Yeah, iko sawa.
No. They actually win at 90 because itakuwa 5-4 Villa. Yeah. Okay, 4-1.
I don't force them to score 4.
Yeah, definitely not.
Nah.
But
Your
for
score
sure,
prediction?
Aston Villa win.
I'm going for. I feel like it will be a very exciting game. 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
Correct.
Aston Villa win.
Okay, twende kazi. Jezi Venant amevaa. BVB hosting Barcelona. Actually, over the weekend, I didn't watch too
Second
much.
leg now they are at Camp Nou.
No, Signal Iduna Park.
Yeah.
The yellow one.
It was 4-0.
Yeah.
Nothing changes there.
So now, of the weekend, I watched the Clasica, Bayern versus Dortmund.
Yeah.
Dortmund actually put up a good fight.
Yes.
It was an entertaining game. It ended 2-2, but it was... Dortmund actually showed something.
Yeah.
I liked how Girassi played. Even Chukwuemeka, when he came on as a sub, he played well. But let's not kid ourselves. There is no way they are scoring 5 against Barcelona.
No chance in that.
Certificate of participation.
Bas, exactly. Venye Arsenal imezoea pia ya Dortmund kuwapea.
But Brian,
So I think PSG and Barcelona in the semi-final. Venant is the only one who disagrees with PSG.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
and another place where we disagree is the Inter Milan and Bayern fixture.
What do you disagree
Because
about?
you guys, okay, sawa. Okay. For Inter Milan, it's a team based. Wanacheza ka team.
It is the most structured team in Europe this season in my book.
How they play as a team, it's like the best of the best. And experience and good aging team.
Boom.
Sijakata. But then on the other hand, we have Bayern Munich over there. A younger, faster team. This time last season, it was Arsenal.
Yeah.
It ended 2-2. And guys were like, oh, Arsenal could actually get this. And Bayern at that time showed us what they could do. A weak Bayern. Now this is a strong Bayern. You talked about the classic. You saw what Kane was doing.
He was missing chances all over the goddamn place.
Come on, but
If it were not for Gnabry, they lose that game to Dortmund, my guy. They lose that game to
first
Dortmund.
and foremost, a good goal. That was that was a good goal. Yeah. But Bayern can actually pull this. But this is what I'm saying.
Yes.
If Bayern fail to qualify, like if it's done, me I'm for Vincent Kompany being fired.
Wow, that's a big shout.
He hasn't improved that team.
True.
They're winning the league.
It's practically
Winning the league at Bayern, it's like
Venant.
They didn't
it's
win it
like
last year.
God and KPL.
I think it's a foregone conclusion because you could also argue the same about Slot. So if Slot was knocked out by PSG, he should have been fired. He's winning the league with them. He's winning the league.
But when you look at how Bayern have been
I
playing,
think for Slot and company, we judge them next season.
Yeah.
They both inherited good teams, so let us judge them next season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bayern that has been beaten by Liverpool. Was it 4-0 earlier on in the Nini?
And that's what I'm saying.
And stuff.
It
like
happens.
Bayern is not the strong. This is not the 2020 Bayern,
So you
the
still,
strong team.
but you still back them in the second leg.
They're rebuilding, bro.
Yeah.
You have them
I practically disagree.
no, I can see them pulling it off. That's what I'm saying.
I practically disagree. Italian teams always have that heritage in the Champions League. Whenever they are at home, they are always okay with a draw.
Yeah.
Inter Milan, as long as this game continues with a 0-0 draw, they are happy. They are celebrating, bro. I love Shidani. You can never let, and this is why I even give credit to Arsenal. This season, do not let teams like Inter and Arsenal get the first goal in any game.
Yes.
Practically a foregone conclusion. Yeah.
So you
if Inter get the first goal, then it's done for. Yeah. As long as it remains, I think it's going to be a 1-0 Inter win in the second leg.
So with Inter, what you're saying indirectly is their focus is on Syria.
Yeah. And that they're also winning as well. See, midweek I think they can do the treble as well. Inter are on for a treble. They're still in the Coppa Italia semi-final, second leg, where in the first leg they drew with AC Milan. They are still leading the title race in Serie A.
Yes.
And I still have them reaching the final of the Champions League, like I always say. Yeah.
Personally, I think for me, they knock Bayern out. The fact that Bayern lost at home, I thought like that was it for them. There's no way they go to San Siro and they think they're going to cook.
So if they knock Bayern out, they're meeting
Barcelona.
And they go to the final.
That's going to be a crazy.
Inter in the final, my guys. Inter in the final. Let's not kid ourselves.
But I don't want Inter to land in the final. Now let's talk about the Arsenal then.
Okay, Sawa, take over. Okay.
First of all, there's a jabroni here who I told that we're going to take a 3-goal deficit. Or Madrid will come out of London with a 3-goal deficit, like a check. You're not laughing now, are you?
What's there to laugh about?
You are not laughing. You
What's
are
there to
laughing.
laugh about?
I mentioned Declan Rice. You're like, Declan Rice. Oh, Declan Rice that. Oh, Saka actually is on. You're saying you cannot have Saka in the same conversation as Mbappe and Vinny Jr. Where the fuck was
Yeah, where's Saka's World
Where
Cup?
the fuck were they?
Where's Saka's World Cup?
Oh, where are they in the
Where's
Champions
Saka's
League?
trophies?
No.
Where's Saka's trophy?
No.
Where's Saka's trophy?
We were talking about the Champions League, bro.
Yes.
Do not
And Saka
digress.
doesn't have one.
I'm not
Vinny
gonna
has
let you
two.
digress.
Vinny already has
First
two.
of all,
Vinny has
you should
two.
be
Saka
down on
has
your-
none.
You should. Let me talk. Let me talk.
Cook, bro.
You should be down on your knees right now begging for forgiveness.
Nah. That's your job.
You should be begging for forgiveness right now, all right? Because of there you're talking smack about the Arsenal. We're talking about Rice. Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo, they had 0 dribbles completed. These are the man them we are supposed to be scared of. Vinny Jr., is that your king? Got pocketed by a goddamn pastor?
He's my king.
Timber?
Man got 2 Champions Leagues to his
0
name.
dribbles and
He's my
that's your
king, bro. He's my king.
Getting pocketed by
Yes,
someone.
he is.
This Real Madrid, they're talking about how they will close up their roof until they choke Arsenal. They will choke them in their goddamn bedroom, bro. Talking about how they'll have Real Madrid ultras. You are fans ni wawapi ama wakuange ama wanakujanga tu when they are.
It's gonna be white all over the
Yeah.
place. White
They're gonna line up-
royalty.
They will line up the 15 Champions League titles.
Yes, so that Louis Skelly's scared.
Yeah. They are doing all that for a team with 0 Champions League titles? Really? Is our aura that big?
Nah.
I have never had Madrid do anything of what they are doing right now. Have you ever
They've
had
always done it.
The Ultras.
The PSG comeback they did. That PSG Benzema hat-trick they did.
The motivational
They did do
videos they will
that.
play for Akina Mbappe because they are not motivated enough. They will play for them before the game. Have they ever done that before? They were even begging for their game to be moved from Sunday to Saturday so that
Oh,
they
but Anabes did agree, but La Liga declined. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Are they that scared? Sounds to me like they are goddamn scared of the Arsenal, and they should be.
I have a question once again. There was the question of the week. There was the United question to United fans, football fans out there.
Yes.
And even to Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
What happens? And this is a big if, because practically right now, you guys are 99% in the semis.
Correct.
You guys are 99% in the semis. Looking at the scoreline and looking at Opta stats and chances and whatnot.
Yeah, in fact, Nishanza could learn French, bro. Yeah, I'm learning French, bro.
But what happens on the off chance, on that Neymar quote, 1% chance, 99% faith. What happens on that 1% chance that a comeback actually happens? What happens?
Where?
Will you consider the season a failure as Arsenal fans?
A failure? If you get knocked out after...
Because you can don't get me wrong, Madrid can't keep clean sheets, I know that. But on the off chance that it happens and you're knocked out by a 5-1 or 4-0 aggregate score, something like that, on the off chance, keyword on the off chance, will Arsenal fans consider it a failure in the manner of getting knocked out and also in the manner of how the league has gone down?
Absolutely.
How how we were knocked out. Like for me last season with
You accepted the Bayern knockout.
with the Bayern.
Yeah.
No, actually that's if I was to create a list of reasons why Arteta needs to be fired,
Yes.
that Bayern fixture is number 1 on my list.
Considering they were a weak Bayern team.
It's an Emirates field, 60,000
Yes.
Arsenal fans. You failed to get a win. Now, granted, he's corrected that with the Real
With the
Madrid
first-
win.
yes.
Yeah, but now with this second fixture, we've been boasting about how Arsenal is good at defending. We've been boasting on how Arsenal's away form is one of the best in Europe. This is a good test. This now, it's like now, let's see what you're made of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, in a way, would even want Real Madrid to even score the first goal, as you've said.
You still
so
haven't
that
answered.
now we see what you're made of. Like, we see how we can handle that Whitefield Stadium.
You still haven't answered my question.
What?
If you are knocked out, will you consider the season a failure?
I told you it depends with how we were knocked
Practically,
out.
Madrid need to score 4
Yeah.
Yeah.
and keep the
Without us scoring
goal
any.
shut.
Yeah. If it's like 4 goals in 20 minutes, then come on, what are we doing?
No. If Arsenal
doing?
does not get out of that leg
Yes.
into the semis,
Yes.
that's a failure.
That's a failure.
All in all.
Yeah,
Because
because of how it happened.
Yeah.
And if we go, I don't know if we, maybe down to penalties.
Yeah.
But let's say like we're a bit legitimately in 120 minutes or 90 minutes, Madrid goes and bangs 4 past us, we score nothing.
Yeah.
which I don't think that will be the case.
Performance review.
That would be considered a failure.
And also, last week, 11 shots on target versus Real Madrid.
Bro, these jabros.
Let's give credit. Let's give credit to. Give credit to our attacking system.
It's
we
fantastic.
rarely talk about the likes of Merino.
Yeah.
We have to talk about him, especially after that third goal.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you talked about Rice, and even encourage you to talk more about Rice, because his presence on that team now, we have to talk about him.
He has to be there.
We have to talk about him.
Those carries, like the carry he made the ball for the counter-attack against Brentford.
I give credit.
If Madrid don't stop those runs by Declan Rice, because he was also he carried the ball when you were getting the third goal. Yeah, he carried the ball from from a half all the way to the final third.
Yes.
Then he gave, I think, Sujukani Martinelli or Trossard laid out to Milos Kelly. If they don't find a way of handling Declan Rice,
Donasema.
Yes,
Personally, I give credit to the Arsenal midfield. You guys created an overload. Merino wasn't even centre forward for most of that.
He was dropping back.
He was dropping in, and then Skelly was also seeping into midfield.
Yeah.
So with that 4-4-2, you've created a five midfield overload.
And
because you have Partey, Rice, Odegaard, and then you add Merino dropping deep and Skelly going in. So that's a 5 versus 4 midfield.
Yeah.
And then another person I'd give credit to is, bro, God cooked when he created women, but also he cooked when he created Courtois. Because not for Courtois, that's a 6-goal scoreline. The 6-goal scoreline, my guy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, where Ancelotti fumbles the bag is the 4-4-2 formation.
That was
I looked at that and I was like, it's Modric and Camavinga, and then Bellingham and Rodrigo in the wings. I'm sorry, bro. Second leg, he has to go back to basics.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go back to a 4-3-3. Alaba will definitely not start at left back, but since Ferland Mendy is injured, I think it'll be Fran Garcia. On right back, I think he has to go back to Vasquez. Whether Martinelli skins him or not, Vasquez has to play right back. Because Valverde has to go back in that midfield.
Yeah.
That midfield has to be Chouameni, Valverde, and Bellingham. He has to go back in that midfield. Yeah. Of course, front three tunajua itakuwa nani. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I want at least 2 Valverde screamers by minute 20. You know?
One thing is allowed. One thing is okay. Getting is something else. It's like thinking.
But then, Nyaash, we also have to support our captain, Odegaard, against Real Madrid this week. We've shown support to our players when he was at Emirates. It's time we show the same, because he's going back.
Yeah, he's going back. He needs to show why he left.
And he needs to prove.
He needs to show why he left.
Hey, come on, dog.
But anyway, just a quick fun question. If you are to choose one goalkeeper to represent your team in this Champions League final, who are you picking? Raya or Courtois?
Courtois. It's a no-brainer, bro.
You have to look at their stats.
Bro, it's a no-brainer.
You also have to look at their stats.
No, I don't look at stats. For me, goalkeepers, I never look at clean sheets.
Raya.
Look at it this way.
Courtois.
Yes, I never look at clean sheets, because clean sheets is also a defensive effort, whether it's a back 4 or a back 3 helping him. I look at saves. Because that's his primary job.
Yeah.
Courtois always has the
make 3 saves.
Courtois always has the save.
And Raya.
Courtois always has the save.
He made those saves, but there was 3 that he could not.
Has Raya been to a Champions League final where he kept Salah and Mane quiet? Has he done that?
No.
Raya can't even start for Spain, my guy.
No.
Courtois always does that. Courtois did his job.
Thibaut Courtois is in Belgium, right?
Courtois did his job.
Is he cooking there?
No.
David Raya starts in Belgium.
No, when you look at performances, the only Madrid player who did his job on the day was Courtois.
Qatar.
Because he did his job. He did his primary job.
It's like a keeper who makes a lot of saves. He's busy. He's getting exposed.
That's what makes him a good keeper.
Get at Thibaut Courtois. I'm not getting Thibaut Courtois. There's no way you concede 3 goals in a match and I keep you against a goalkeeper who conceded none.
What are you saying?
Never gonna happen.
So there's no way I'm keeping a keeper who concedes penalties to Zaxi. There's no way. But Raya also considered a free kick to Bruno. Raya considered a free kick to Bruno. What are you saying? You're chatting shit. Raya considered a free kick to Bruno. He sucks. He's not even tall enough to be a goalkeeper. What are you saying? Hell no.
Okay.
No way. No. Courtois' name will not be slandered on this podcast. No way. No. Raya is not even top 3 in the world right now. He's not top 3 in the world right now. What are you saying?
Are you behaving like a Neanderthal?
No, he's not.
I'm behaving like a man from a cave.
Yes, I am the Neanderthal of the podcast. And Raya is not top 3.
You need to behave like a civilized man.
What are you saying?
Behave like a caveman.
Fuck civilization. Raya is not top 3 in the world.
Come from a garden
Raya is not top 3 in the world.
You just come from a garden
He's not.
I'm not saying he's top 3 in the world.
He's not.
Venant asked a very simple question.
And I say, Courtois, end of story.
Behave.
End of story.
Behave, goddamn.
Calm down. Courtois
Is this Arsenal that is getting you rattled?
It's Courtois.
This David Raya is getting you rattled like this.
It is Courtois. It is Courtois.
David Raya.
It is Courtois. It is producers. It's Courtois. Trivia man. It's Courtois.
It's
Courtois.
Thibaut Courtois can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Name of the episode.
He will not.
It's Courtois.
He will not save Real Madrid from getting knocked the fuck out. Where was you when they were conceding 3 goals? It can't be Thibaut
my
Courtois for
God.
me, man.
Fair enough. Okay, before we get to KPL, quick one. Before we get even to the mentions, favorites of the Champions League. Quick fire. No, win it all.
The Arsenal, bro.
Arsenal.
Okay, because he said Arsenal,
one.
I'll go with Barcelona.
Yeah, you're not saying Arsenal because don't say Barcelona
We
because
cannot
they
be
said Arsenal.
supporting the same.
We are not. It's not about supporting the same team.
Yeah,
It's about who's the
I'll go with
favorite.
Barcelona.
Oh, I
I'll
see.
go with Barcelona.
So you don't have your team as the favorite to win the
No,
Champions
I
League.
got Barcelona. I support Barcelona.
Damn, bro.
Come on. You cannot be
Arsenal, Barcelona for me.
enough.
Because after mimi you come back, bado naionea na jicho moja, I think Inter. For me, Inter.
Sawa.
Europa League,
Inter is
favorites.
scary.
Quick fire.
I don't talk about that in football, bro. Ask Venant.
Sawa. Quick
I want you guys to win.
I think it's us or Bilbao.
I want you guys
think
to
it's
win.
us or Bilbao.
I
Because
want you
Bilbao
guys to win.
are hosting the final. Conference League, mimi nimesema Betis.
Chelsea.
Betis pia wewe.
That's not
Chelsea
football. I don't do
since
that
day
in
one.
football. Talk to this guy.
You were there for 7 years, my guy. You were there for 7 years.
I am done with that.
So basi, I think it's time you guys watch episode sana. It's time to take a quick break and visit our social media pages. There's the Twitter SportPesa page, there's the Instagram SportPesa page, but we are really trying to get more follows on the Facebook SportPesa page. You can get our reels there, our predictions there. You can get the It's Courtois deadline there, of course.
Can get the caveman behavior. Bro,
Yeah, so please make a point of following us on Facebook. We're trying to boost up the SportPesa Facebook page numbers. My guy, take over with the KPL
Hey,
title.
manze, there were some amazing games that were happening this weekend. Kwanza, let's start with the Kenyan under-20 team.
Yeah.
Tusker played against Kenya under-20. Did you watch the game?
No, I did not.
You don't support your team anymore?
Who said I don't?
I like it. I like it so much because, one, this is how much faith we have in our Kenya under-20. We've been talking about the Kenya under-20 team for some time now.
Yeah.
You need to watch the Kenya under-20 team, and also their future is bright so long as they continue kukaa pamoja.
Yeah.
But anyway, they played against Tusker last weekend and it was an amazing fixture. I like that exposure of playing the under-20 against the senior teams.
Correct.
And also for you guys, it's more of, I think it's like, it was like a scouting game so that you guys can get to see who you guys are going to pick.
That could be
Yeah.
true. Wait, who won that game?
I don't know. I mean, I was waiting for you because your time I was watching other games.
Oh, I don't know. I just know for me, like, I know that it's in preparation for the AFCON under-20.
Definitely, yes.
And bro, the draw
You've
was
seen
tough.
that group?
Sheesh.
Better remember, guys, you can be patriotic all you want, but acceptance is key. Acceptance is key, my
There's no way
guy.
they set up us against Tunisia, Morocco, and Nigeria.
Bro, acceptance is key. We are out.
Ah, fuck.
No, but Sasa,
Acceptance is
I mean,
but we'll use that. Okay, I don't
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to
I
use the
get
exposure.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
The under-20 team needs to be neat. I think use this group stage fixtures to get that under-20 team to become the
Yeah.
team that probably takes us to the 2034 World Cup.
Yeah.
Get it mature, get it, get them together.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, hii nayo hiyo group nayo hatutoboi.
support your team.
Mimi nilikuwa najua hatutatoboa.
No. We've been supporting we've been to finals.
Look,
the Kenya under-20
that
has
was
been to
Sekafa.
finals.
That was Sekafa.
Yes, but at least that's proof of concept that this team is better and this
Proof of
team
concept that in an AFCON versus
it's
a regional
playing-
tournament.
No, it's playing
See, Venant,
very well.
the
There's
issue is-
progress of at least the under-20 team.
Let me get-
kuna that element of we're playing good football and we can go far.
Against some guys who are not even in the
And
AFCON.
the AFCON tournament is a good. That's why I hate using the word exposure because it has been.
But it's what it is.
But we need that exposure to see where we are in terms of.
Yeah.
As a team.
That final was against Uganda, bro. That's the cup
Yeah,
of final.
but don't consider how Uganda.
And I'm not saying I really hate using these metaphorical expressions when I go to Europe. But at the end of the day, you see, if you're Luxembourg and you have a final against Andorra, you are confident. But if you're Luxembourg and your World Cup group is France, Germany, Italy, you will fucking know you're out.
Cooked, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll try your best.
Yeah.
It's not like the people from Luxembourg will stop supporting that team.
Exactly.
We'll still support the AFCON, the Kenya
Yeah.
under-20 team.
Come on. Even
But come on.
even the World Cup that Argentina won, they lost at one time, and there was one fan who was asking, "Where's Messi?" You guys at least, and you've talked about that 1%,
and that's what I want.
This is our 1%,
because that 1% for Saudi Arabia only got them one win. They didn't make it past the group stage.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Argentina went on to win the game.
Okay,
so we can beat Morocco in the group stage, but they go to the final.
Yeah.
But it's better than at least losing all those games the way you're trying to portray as if this group of death, we're not getting away with any points.
We'll finish fourth in the group. I'm a realist. We'll finish fourth.
I think so as well. And it's not like I wish them bad.
Yeah, we'll finish fourth.
It's just realistically, the guys who they're up against, I mean, they can pull a heart of the goddamn.
Yeah, no one is ruling that out. Yeah.
We are open for that, but realistically, knowing the opponent they're up against, I don't see how they get through, bro.
And how do you guys feel about this poor officiating concern? Because it has reached a point where even the coaches are now being brave and saying something as big as, if they use that referee, that's gonna go as far as AFCON is concerned.
I think
how do you?
For me, to handle that situation, employ it the way, if referees make mistakes, the PGMOL or the English FA usually takes over. So it's down to the FKF. Stand up and be counted.
Yeah.
Sort these issues. It should not get to a point where coaches are regularly doing it. I would understand if a coach comes and says the referee, the VAR, if it's once every 5 games.
Situation,
yeah, but it's happening. It's too regular right now. So I think the FKF needs to step up and sort the situation.
Because hey man, it's sad. It's sad. It's more than just poor officiating. We have coaches now talking about even the quality of the balls being played in the pitch now being somebody even said as low as supermarket balls.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah,
so
standard.
hey, you know, then this is a coach who's saying this on after games and stuff.
Yeah.
But the good news is for us,
but this coach is saying this when you are in game week what?
Exactly.
League's almost people done. Are talking about this
They're
as
saying this in game week 30.
Yeah, the people
game week 28.
There are people who are saying this. Yeah,
have they been saying this before? I mean, just
this is now. Something. Okay, it's one of those. When you dig, you'll find that it has been going on for some time. For example, like the poor officiating, we've been talking about it this whole season.
No, I don't mind about the officiating.
That's just one of the problems that we
balls.
have. Okay, I haven't.
The ball was not Nike, it was Puma.
Is it the same stuff?
I think it's more of the standard of probably the ball that was used at that game.
I don't know. Sportpesa has many balls. We can lend them. Yeah.
No,
and it's part of. It's why even when you talk about the 400 million jackpot, like when if I win such things, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, okay, how can I change, for example, the refereeing as a body in Kenya? Do we now introduce a new level of certification, a new FIFA level of certification, and then have all the referees go through them and investing in something like that?
Wait,
very ambitious.
Yeah,
very ambitious.
But did you mention winning the money and doing that?
Bro,
if I using your money to do that?
Venant, if I win that money, I'm making sure FC is in one of those slots, pale. Nakuwa selfish. Tangu 98. Nakuwa selfish.
Speaking of 98,
yes.
We got a new election. Yago really happened, and Ambrose.
Was this an election, or is it just an endorsement?
No, I want you to say his name. Because he was supposedly supposed to step down in 2019. I remember. Say his name.
Let me speak positively about him first. Ambrose Chair. He has been re-elected as the chairman once again.
Dang.
And now here's some stats for you.
How many years did this have?
Here's some stats for you. By the time his new term ends in 2029.
Hey. Alifaa retired in 2019.
Yeah.
My God.
He will have served the club. He will serve the club for 21 years. But at the same time, it's almost 21 years since AFC last won
the league.
So it can speak to his dominance in the league.
So what you're telling me is AFC work on elections, Nivai. 20 years job security. My God. Oh my days.
Wait, so 21
years.
And you still have no trophy cabinet. You still have no goddamn stadium. But he's still a goddamn chairman. What's his legacy?
We have seen the
leagues. What do you mean? What's his legacy? He's won us the league.
As club chairman. No. As club chairman. But don't you have a point? As club chairman, he has delivered the trophies. But what about outskirts of the club? How come Gor Mahia, the biggest per se club in the country, does not have even a stadium? Muranga Seals have the Muranga Arena, bro.
Yeah, but
for 2
Japana have the Kusi Stadium.
Shabana wameleta mascots 21 years no mascots.
It's okay.
21 years bado vikombe zinawekwa kwa ofisi yake.
It's okay.
Ofisi yake ni yake ama ni ya Gor? Like which is which here?
Sasa hiyo ni part owner. 21 years kwa hiyo job.
This rate. Kana shares huko.
But the good thing is kumekuwa na other changes in the, like for example the vice chairperson now is Sally Bolo and I like
how na election starts za ukweli.
And I like the fact that at least now with her there's that possibility of okay kuna hiyo ka hope of kutakuwa na changes hapo ndani. Keep in mind also FKF kulikuwa na changes too, so we might see something. I'm not selling you guys on a definite guaranteed change.
What something could that potentially be in your opinion?
See, ndio tutaona na kina Nika Room, tutaona na Mr. Okuku, akina Raymond Oruo, like we're going to see because before your election and stuff, see they had their manifesto. So we're going to through that now we're going to use that to judge them.
Anything grand?
But as far as Gore winning, you cannot point a finger on Mr.
So
Chair.
what
You
I can
cannot
say is
point a finger on
Ambrose's
him.
manifesto is God win the league. God win the hiyo pekee ndo manifesto.
But okay, me I'm focused on the football aspect of it. You guys are focused on
But the stadium
other.
is part of football.
Is it not?
Should have a stadium.
Fraternity, yeah.
Club chairman.
Have a goddamn trophy cabinet
Yes.
or something. What is it that they're gonna do different? That's what I'm asking basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For starters, after he's won the election, God will finish third because I don't think they're winning.
No. When I look at these fixtures,
It's okay. You might even win the league. What different will he do that he has not done in the 21 years?
we're gonna see that through now the likes of Madam Sally now.
Not through the chairman.
You need
Not through the chair.
see. Okay, sir, let's have this conversation.
Let's
He's been there for X
21.
amount of years, Indio.
21
And you guys claim that there hasn't been any
Changes apart from the football.
Besides winning the league.
Yeah, besides winning the league.
Getting a bus.
A very good bus, mind you.
Well, hata mimi nikiwa high school tulikuwa tunaenda funky na bus.
Bana, the bus
That's not a high school bus. Wait, that's not a high school.
The fact that you're coming to talk about the legacy of buying a bus. Come on, man.
Really? Nyimna haya matri.
Continue.
Anyway, so I think now through like Saka, Madam Sally now, those are now the fresh new ideas that Utaget. You even see it with our outside football now, like our old leaders who they surround themselves with the young-minded generation and stuff so that they can get off the new ideas. So I think this is the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, you're not giving me conclusive answers. You're just telling me there's a new leadership, young talk.
With new ideas that you're gonna see, you want me to sell you something.
I'll give credit. I'll give credit to Ambrose. You know, I think he's part of the consortium that made sure Benson Omala is back.
He's back, Bana. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Good for him.
Let's talk about
wow.
What is that?
I mean, Gor Mahia have brought back Benson Omala. Wow.
What an achievement.
God has given us a series of legendary strikers. What do you mean?
You see, now you're praising the strikers, not Ambrose.
No, but it's through him that we're getting these players. Come on.
No, I think for me as a chairman of the most successful club, coming here to talk about here
Got to be
league
better.
titles.
Yes.
Winning league titles is second to nature for Gor Mahia. That's not something we should be talking up about. Talk about something different, something monumental, a legacy. Well, what is the legacy going to be? Like, I was in charge of Gor Mahia when they won all these league titles, and I bought a
We
bus.
can't just say all these league titles. Which other team has all these league titles?
Other teams competed, and Tusker won a few.
Which team has as many leagues as?
So
But you
that's what I'm
see,
saying.
what we are saying is, by the time 2029 gets here, Venant, this brother should come and say, I made sure Gor got to the semis of the CAF Champions League.
Yes.
I made sure Gor got an arena to play their home games. Something like that.
Not buying a
Something like
bus.
that. I made sure tickets were not sold outside of Voxy.
Tickets are so...
Okay, that's not. Maybe, I don't know if that's up to him or if FK.
But he has to push it because he represents the biggest club in the country.
Exactly.
He also has to.
Venant is being very vague in his responses.
I'm even looking at the votes here. He got 658.
Not the votes he got.
Against Dolphina Cheng, who had
We need to
456. So it speaks to...
The manifesto. What did he say he's going to do? Like we know, this Kamwana and the other dude. They said they're building stadiums and all that shebang. They said those things. What did Ambrose say when he was vying for election? That's what I'm asking. Like something that we can now check him on once he goes in 2020, or maybe once he gets re-elected again.
Yes.
In 2029, like he said,
There's
we are
that
getting this and that.
consistency. Okay, Nisa. For me. Okay, let's revisit this conversation after next season.
Okay.
Sawa. To assess the progress that he would have already made by
Boring.
then. He would have already made by then.
not saying
Sindio,
anything of
let's
this.
do that. But as far as football is concerned,
Yes.
bro, Kofiti, and now that you're talking about football, bro, I still believe Gor Mahia is winning this league.
Venant, you're always believing. Always
Yes,
believe.
that's
and your
the
teams
point.
keep disappointing.
It's part of winning. You have to believe. You cannot win the Champions League by mistake.
Chelsea did it in 2012.
and they did it again in 2021.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Nyaash, confident? Me, I still back you guys. I'm still backing you guys.
Yo,
by the way.
there's something going on with
Yes.
Gam, bro.
Yeah. Goal drought. He's moving like a Chelsea striker right now.
Miss Jackson, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on. We're still second. I mean, if Gor Mahia wins the game in hand, which I expect you again, AFC Leopards to come in
No.
handy for
It'll
us.
be another draw. Trust you me.
Exactly.
It'll be another draw.
Banking on that, because
Yeah.
if they do win that game, they go top of the league.
Yes.
And knocking them out of the top of the league when you're...
Yeah.
How many games to go?
You never want to be the chasing pack against Gor.
Nah.
Yeah.
They've been there, done that, so yeah.
But I'm looking at your fixtures right now, and probably the tough fixture that Tusker have, it's AFC Leopards at home, and K-Sharks, which is the second last fixture. Yeah, when you look at now football and the style of play, Nanini, those
are
teams
the two
ni
tough
ngumu.
games.
I thought you'd support Kenya Police because
Why?
Kenya Police are in this conversation. You look at them, they play Ulinzi Stars, you know,
They'll
and
beat Ulinzi. Yeah. they'll beat Ulinzi.
they have KCB after that,
That's a draw. That's a draw.
and then K-Sharks.
K-Sharks wamejaribu kutoka ile
Yeah,
ya omena.
Guess what the last fixture is?
Gor Mahia.
Police
Gor
score.
Mahia.
No
That's
shit.
That's
Yes.
a dog fight.
Gor Mahia away.
We are ready.
No. You see, like in Kenya, do you say away or home? Is there
Usijaribu,
difference? Do you say
unless ni Shabana na hiyo
ni
unaweza sema
Shabana.
home. Hiyo unaweza sema home.
Hizo zingine zote hakuna home and away. Ni Gor Mahia wanachezea Machakos and what
Hii game msipostpone mweke 10 am please.
So then nyip msifanye isinyeshe pia. So when I look at Gor on the other hand, the tough fixture, Shabana away. It's Shabana at Gusii.
Yeah.
That's a tough.
Hiyo stadium itakuwa imejaa.
That's another one that you can say away or.
Yeah,
And then
true.
immediately Mashemeji Derby.
Oh, now the
So that's
Oh my
Gusii
God.
Stadium and
You know
then
what?
back to Nyayo Stadium.
I actually think Shabana will beat Gor and then they'll draw to AFC.
yeah, and that's how they
I'm
drop
calling it right. And I think that's how they lose the league. Yeah.
And then there's the SportPesa Derby, Muranga Seals away.
Wase wako down this season, bro.
And then Ulinzi and Police. Now,
Ulinzi ni kupiga.
Yeah, you'll beat Muranga, you'll beat Ulinzi, and then Police.
Sir. And then also, lastly, with Gor Mahia, I still believe with on our manager. So far,
Very vocal.
Yeah, he's very vocal. You can see him up kwa pitch, and also after the post match, like you understand actually what he's saying. You understand how he coaches the team. Tactically, you can see him how he's manipulating the opponents and stuff. It's good. So that manager is the reason as to why and also Omale is back. We also another
anytime
reason.
soon. Unajua ulikuwa unamdm na blank.
Actually, I like the fact that the coach said this player who I had, he scores 20 goals a season. That's him describing Omala, and that's a good sign. That
Speaking of goals, Galen, goals Laden, we're gonna get to your FPL. Anything?
FPL.
Yeah.
We have another double game week, by the way. I don't know if you guys Mulisha give up completely.
Bro, sijacheza FPL tangu jana ama sijui lini. I don't think I've looked at my FPL team since the international break.
No shit.
Haven't.
Okay, so FPL is here, and we have another double game week here. We're gonna start with the players or the teams that I'd like for you to still keep these players. So Aston Villa, they're still good. You can still keep Kina Watkins and Rogers. Wako fiti, but shout out to Tillemans over there. Crystal Palace, they have another double game week, so still stick with Crystal Palace assets. Kina Mateta is playing very well. By the way. Liverpool, still keep Liverpool assets. I was talking to Otis. this. I like how Konate is playing.
Yes.
We're talking about the future of Trent and what it means if he goes for free. And also Manchester United, funny enough,
What?
Bruno Fernandes in particular, if you have him.
Okay, have him.
Yeah. They're playing. Is it Leicester? No, Wolves. They're playing Wolves at home. Keep the Spurs assets, like Brennan Johnson.
Yes.
Because their fixtures
attacking
are fitty. But if you now want to buy in players that will get you points specifically for this week, and actually I'm going to let Nyaash check this first one because it's Arsenal.
Buying assets, of course, has to be Bukayo Saka, man.
Bukayo Saka is number one on the list.
Yeah.
We've talked about Declan Rice.
Merino.
Merino.
Yeah,
You do have. Actually, I think, by the way, FPL guys bank on Arsenal players because once they're dunked out after that comeback Real Madrid win,
Dunked
they
out
will
by
start
who?
fielding their strong
Dunked out
11
by
now.
who?
They'll start fielding their strong
Jabronis
11.
could not score a goal.
Anyway, continue.
But the front three of Nani would be quite interesting. Like Merino, Isak, Mamouche.
Ooh, steamer.
Yeah, because those guys occasionally will get you a goal.
Yeah. What do you think about scaling?
Good option. I was actually going to ask, like, defensively, because all these most assets, they are very easy to get attacking assets, right? Defensively, who do you get? I think Van Dijk. I think someone from Nottingham Forest.
I'd pick somebody from City.
Amorilo, Ramilenkovic.
Yeah. But then again, what they did against Everton, is it a one-off? Is it something that's going to continue?
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, Arsenal.
Yeah, with Arsenal, scale over there is cheap.
Yeah.
And also, to me, it looks like he's guaranteed playing time.
Yes, Kelly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 is Manchester City. Now with City, it's only 2 players. One is Mamouche.
Yes.
Mamouche, for me, is like the Haaland of this season as far as Haaland being injured is concerned. And he's scoring goals. Number 2 is KDB. I think, for me, KDB... They're letting him play all these games to just
Atoke, atuondoke bana.
imtoke, you know.
Acheze him talk.
You know. And then now, lastly, we have West Ham. We were talking about West Ham being an improved team, and it's starting now to be reflected by FPL. So the likes of Bowen over there for me stands out. Bowen, guaranteed game time whenever, and also Bizaka too, because Bizaka is also giving us that potential assist when he's giving us final third. Yes, so we actually got an assist versus Arsenal. So Bizak over there. So that's it for FPL for this week.
All right, fair enough. This trivia time. Someone is already wetting his pants because favorite trivia master is around and shit.
Yeah, bro.
God damn it.
Time to get back to where I belong.
Let's go. No, that's not like Madrid walilibola last week.
You can actually be a reason Real Madrid wins something this week.
Imagine being Madrid.
Imagine just losing everything at the trivia, man.
Imagine being a Madrid United fan. Uliona akipigwa 3-0, alafu timu yako imekuwa smacked 4-4.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
Moving on, trivia.
Yes. First question.
Yes.
Which fixture in the 2024-2025 Kenya Premier League season has had the most goals?
Oh my God. Who pressed? Venant.
Me.
It's you.
Kenya Police and who? Fuck. I have no idea.
Umepass. I think Kenya Police and KCB.
Nope.
Oh.
Goran Shabana.
Nope. KCB and Marashuga 4-3.
Oof.
Okay.
At least I got KCB, simnipe half points.
Never going down.
Shout out to Marashuga.
Okay, the second one. Who was the first footballer to cost over 50 million euros?
First ever. Like in the footballing world, all of it.
Yes.
My God.
50 million euros.
Over.
Unajibu?
Nah, I don't know.
I'm going with Torres.
Nope.
I think
him.
Tevez.
Nope.
No. Nani? Rio Ferdinand.
Nope.
No way.
Kaka.
Ooh.
56 million 209.
Going to Madrid.
Wow.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
Million euros is like 45 million pounds. Okay.
Question 3. Ramos, Zlatan, and which other player have the joint record for most Champions League red cards?
Red cards.
Red cards. Red cards.
Learn to listen to
Gattuso.
Nope.
That's a good shout, though.
I thought so.
That's a good shout. I think Pepe, Ramos' partner.
Blank.
Edgar Davids.
Edgar Davids.
Edgar Davids. Aya.
Ningetafuta midfielder mimi ningesema Fido. Singesema Davids. That is wild.
I have Ronaldinho
Bro, kuna
before him.
mpata point. 3 questions in. Wow.
I need to watch his highlights.
Si ni favorite trivia master wako?
Nashangaa bomb.
Let's go to an easier one.
Oh no.
Make it hard.
How many East African players have played in the Premier League?
East African. 3.
Nope.
No way. How? Mathematic. I'm gonna go 8.
Nope.
Jibu.
2.
Correct. Lakini ulikosha fail.
Sasa nimerudisha hapa.
Usha fail.
Can you wait, is it
Question number 5. Question number 5.
No.
question number 5? No, Isha Peter.
Ushanipea point.
No, Isha Peter.
No, let the trivia master talk.
Mathri ishaenda bana. Wewe ngoja ingine.
El Tigre anakungoja kwa
Fifth.
The fifth one, yeah? Who has the most African appearances in the Premier League?
Oh my God.
Hey, chief.
Nyaash Kirere ni nini?
Most appearances there?
Premier
League. Kolo Toure.
Correct.
This is my goddamn yard.
Oh wow, nice.
Kolo.
Oh yeah.
But ile point ingine hata usinipe. I don't need it.
Let's go back to United having a terrible week. You're supporting Real Madrid.
Imagine supporting
United.
Real Madrid. Watch them get smacked for 3.
Yes.
8 players were
Ulisema mimi kwanza nilisikia Eastern Africa. Sasa nimeanza kufikiria hadi Tanzania, nimeanza kufikiria
Tanzania iko.
See,
Tanzania there is one.
tell me Tanzania
Na
and then
Wanyama.
Kenya. Wait.
Wanyama.
And
Marika
Wanyama,
didn't make an appearance for City. He didn't even get there.
What you talking about?
On Inter walimchukua. He was about
That's
to
why
go
I said 3 because I had Mariga in mind. Ilikuwa like
God
Europe, not
damn.
Premier League.
Even though technically the answer is wrong, but anyway, endelea.
Technically the answer is what?
There's an Onyango pale Everton who played Premier League.
Premier League ama Division 2?
Premier League. There's an Onyango at Everton. But
Yeah,
anyway,
my God.
the most important thing is
Yeah.
So,
Manchester
Nyaash Kawaida dominating on the trivia. By the way, it's been a great episode. It's been Courtois. End of story. But at the end of the day, before we wrap up the episode, a reminder, type it up on the YouTube comments. Of course, question of the week is, what was the scoreline the last time Real Madrid were 3 goals down after the first leg of a Champions League knockout game? Big shout out to, of course, none other than Cisco Marsha, who got it correct last week in the question of the week. The question of the week was, when was the last time Man United won at St. James's Park? And that was in 2020 with a 4-1 win. This time we went back there and got clapped 4-1. Oh my God. But also a big shout out to, actually this week I was heavy laden on the comment section. As we wrap up, big shout out to Anjala Musea, who says, damn, this has been arguably the best episode of the whole season yet. I believe it was because of your prediction. You can definitely tell. And also a big shout out to Masharia Mwangi, who said, so happy I'm watching this after Real got spanked. Waudo out here sounding like a jabroni. Big shout out. And of course Gerald pia anasema jabroni slayer, leo watasemaje, no party without rice. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you for always watching the Wildcard. He episode in a drop, of course, Tuesday, because we have Champions League business to attend to. Up until next time, I've been Brian Waudo.
Venant.
I've been Nyaash. Oh, and Rice cooks best with the lid on. So let them close up that Santiago Bernabeu. We are ready.
I hate him.